The city of Minneapolis, they are dead serious when they are talking about removing money from the police. Now, you remember the defund the police became a big thing during the death of George Floyd when he was murdered by the police. So this came out on CBS News December 10th, 2020. Minneapolis to shift $8 million from police budget amid defund the police movement. So they are still on those cops big time. Many of them have quit. A lot of them from the time George Floyd was killed all the way up until now, a lot of those cops are gone. A big chunk of their police department is gone. The Minneapolis City Council unanimously approved a budget early Thursday that will shift about $8 million from the police department towards violence prevention and other services, but will keep the mayor's targeted staffing levels for sworn officers intact. Mayor Jacob Frey, who threatened to veto the entire budget if the council went ahead with its plan to cap police staffing, said the vote was a defining moment for the city, which has experienced soaring crime rates amid calls to defund the police since May 25th, death of George Floyd. We all share a deep and abetting reference for the role that our local government plays in the service of the people of our city, Frey said. And today there's a good reason to be optimistic about the future in Minneapolis. The city council had initially proposed to cut the city's authorized police force to 750 officers, down from 888 the beginning of 2022. But members backtracked on that plan late Wednesday after the mayor called it irresponsible. The council votes 7-6 to remove language that lowered the cap. Tonight, the city council passed a budget that represents a compromise and also a big step forward in a more compassionate and effective public safety future. The city council member, Stephen Fletcher, co-author of the proposal to lower the cap on staffing, said the city council has more work to do and we cannot afford to remain stuck in the past any longer. Supporters call the city council's plan Safety for All, the latest version of the defund the police movement that Minneapolis and other cities have considered since Floyd's death, ignited mass demonstrations against police brutality and a nationwide reckoning with racism. The plan cuts nearly $8 million from Mayor Jacob Frey's $179 million policing budget and redirects it to mental health teams, violent prevention programs, and other initiatives. More than 300 Minneapolis residents signed up to speak about the proposal, and they spent 5.5 hours doing so, reports CBS Minnesota. I've been involved in Minneapolis politics and civics affairs for over 40 years. I've never seen anything like this level of engagement from all kinds of perspective. The station quotes the Minneapolis Downtown Council, Steve Kramer, as saying, some urge council members to deliver the reforms they promised after Floyd's death, and others warned it would be irresponsible to cut officers. Some in favor of the plan called police officers cowards, gang members, white supremacists, or terrorists. They spoke about violence that African Americans and other minorities have experienced at the hands of police. Those against the plan said the city council was acting irresponsibly and had bungled its attempt to bring change. They cited increasing violence, saying they don't feel safe. Cities around the U.S., including Los Angeles, New York, and Portland, Oregon, are shifting funds from police departments to social services programs in an effort to provide new solutions for problems traditionally handled by police. Such cuts have led to some departments to lay off officers, cancel recruiting classes, or retreat from hiring goals. In Minneapolis, violent crime rates have surged since the death of Floyd, a black man who was handcuffed and pleaded for air for several minutes while Derek Chauvin, a white officer, pressed his knee on his neck. Chauvin and three others are charged in Floyd's death and are expected to stand trial in March. The summer happened because George Floyd was murdered by the Minneapolis Police Department, and it wasn't an accident. It's because the system of policing we know is not just racist, but it doesn't create safety for all. Okay. So it looks like they are still on the police and trying to cap the amount of money they get. So we certainly don't hear too many of these stories. We heard a lot of police departments say they would make changes, but it's very few that you will see that will try to remove funds from police departments in this country. In fact, this is pretty rare and it shouldn't be. But y'all, please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.